All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Sleepy, and welcome to the very first episode of Sleeptalking, a series where I just sit in front of a computer and just talk about the stuff that I find interesting, whether it be TV shows I used to watch when I was a child, YouTubers that inspired me to become a content creator myself, or just stuff going on in the world that we can converse about and have different opinions about in the comments. But before we get to that, I feel like I should take this time to introduce myself, talk about why I want to become a content creator, talk about how my life's been so far leading up to this day, and the type of content that I plan on uploading on this channel other than sleep talking. So, for starters, my name is once again Sleepy. I am currently 18 years old. I've lived in the state of Pennsylvania my entire life. Um, I am currently working as a cashier at a supermarket, and I graduated high school back in July. Um, I feel like when you get to introduce yourself to people, it gives people a chance to really see the type of person you are. And I feel like the type of person I am that you all should take to note is a person who finds that when he makes someone laugh or when he makes people laugh, it brings him joy to see other people laugh. I've always found the idea of making people laugh, making people have a good time, making people just enjoy life in general to be pretty fun. I'm always down for a good hangout with friends. I love going out. I love going out to eat. I love going out to the mall. I love everything like that. Another thing about me is that I'm always a good listener. I always listen to people's problems. I always listen to people talk. And I always try my best to give advice to whatever situation they're currently in, whether whether I have information about it or not, whether I've experienced it or not. I am currently in a lovely relationship at the moment with a partner that I will not name to protect their identity because I don't even think they know I'm recording this right now. But yeah, that's going well. I'm very happy for it. As I said, I've lived in Pennsylvania my entire life. It's a really good state. We got a lot of good stuff here. I've been all over. I've always wanted to travel. My dream travel destination is Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan just to check it out, and also because I'm into a lot of stuff they got over there, like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, which I definitely will be talking about in a later episode. Another place that I've traveled to, or places that I've traveled to, I've been to New York to go see Lion King on Broadway because I am a big musical fan. Some of my favorite musicals include Dear Evan Hansen, Heathers, Six, Beetlejuice, and all the other ones that you know. I'd say Dear Evan Hansen is my all-time favorite musical solely because I relate to the character of Evan a lot. Specifically, Evan before he lied about being friends with Connor Murphy, not after. But I know what it's like to be like lonely. I know what it's like to be in an environment where you feel like no one really knows you're there. I know what it's like to be left behind. I know what it's like to be left alone by the people that you trust. I know what that's like. Because I didn't go through that in high school. I went through that in elementary school, and that wasn't really the greatest thing. But anyways, back to places I've traveled to. I've also been to New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey a couple of times to go to the beach. Beaches are really nice there. But aside from that, I've just been here, relaxing in my hometown. I'm currently in the planning phase of what I want to do with my life. As I've said, I'm currently working as a cashier right now, but my dream is to be a voice actor or a actor on Broadway or TV or movies. And I feel like I set that goal for myself because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my face isn't exactly the type of face I feel like um, producers or casting directors aren't really looking for when it comes to casting a role. I have a lazy eye that I've had ever since the age of 5, I think. And my face just really isn't what they're really looking for. But then again, I wouldn't know because I haven't really auditioned for anything yet. But the reason why I want to act so bad is because I want to prove that even when you don't look like the most attractive actors out there on Broadway, you can still do amazing things. You can still play convincing roles. You can still show emotion in the roles that you choose to play. And that's my dream. And I also want to be an actor because just entertaining people sounds like the greatest thing of all time. And I'm getting emotional right now. But I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I love making people laugh, like I've said. I also want to see how people just react to how I can act. And I feel like when you choose that life, you can't really go back down it, and you can't really regret it. And I feel like if I go down that path, I won't regret it. I feel like I'll really have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I want to be an actor. What else can I say about me? We can talk about type of fandom. I'm really big into certain fandoms. Ever since I was the age of 7, I have been a big fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I played the demos that they released on Android that you can't really get anymore, but I played the demos that they released for FNAF 2 and FNAF 3 and FNAF 4, I think. I remember back in elementary school when we would play the FNAF 4 demo in the cafeteria and just scream every time we got jump scared. It was a really good time. Another fandom that I've probably been a part of is Power Rangers, and Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider, like I said earlier. Some really, really good shows. I highly recommend watching them if you haven't. I buy the merchandise from those series. If you were to take a look at my shelf, you'd see that um, they're all over. What are some other fandoms that I've been in? I'm really big into horror movies. Really love horror movies. Two of my all-time favorite franchises are, of course, A Nightmare on Elm Street, starring Freddy Krueger, and the Child's Play franchise, or as you know it as Chucky. And I started watching horror when I was around the age of 6. I remember exactly the first horror movie, or at least one of the first horror movies I ever watched, was Curse of Chucky. My oldest brother brought over a copy of it on DVD, and we watched it. And I watched it, and I had nightmares for a long, long time. Just a long, long time. But it wasn't until the age of, like, I want to say 8, 9, somewhere around that area, or maybe even older. We'll just say 9. But I remember it was around that age that I actually did start getting into horror movies. And I remember I started watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I really loved them. My all-time favorite is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. It's a really, really good movie. And to drive the point home, my all-time favorite Child's Play movie is Child's Play 2, but every now and then I will go back and watch the first movie because it is also a classic. Another thing about myself is that I'm not really like the most social person. Like, I do love going out with friends, but aside from that, I would prefer to stay at home, put on a good movie, sit down, relax, either alone or with my family. But if I get to know a person well enough and, they seem very promising, then I will go out to hang out with them. Maybe I'll have the good time, maybe I'll have the bad time. I won't know until I take that opportunity. So the real reason why I really wanted to do content creation is because I just really like the idea of just putting my name out there, just having people find out who I am. Maybe they'll find me interesting, maybe they'll find me weird, which is something I'm very used to. But I just like the idea of being present on the internet, or just having a presence on the internet, whether it be big or small, having a big following or a little following. As long as people stay and watch my videos, probably not even all the way through, but we'll see. And just the idea of someone finding enjoyment in what I do, that's really enough, honestly. And I'm not gonna try to make these videos too long, but the idea for each episode is to make it at least like 30 minutes long, just to get out what I want to talk about. But with that, we can move on to the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is just my life, what I've been through in these 18 years of my life that I've really enjoyed. Well, some parts I enjoyed, some parts I didn't really like. Growing up, I always had a knack for being creative. I loved... Well, okay, start over. Growing up, I had a very, very big imagination. I always found myself looking up in the sky through my window and just wondering what it would be like to just get out there in the world and just do shit. I also remember when I was younger, I would always just sit in front of the TV and watch the public channels you would get if you didn't have cable, and just enjoying it. And I always imagined myself interacting with those fictional characters and just having the greatest time. I really loved those moments when I was younger. And another thing I remember liking a lot from my childhood was just like building. I really had an obsession with building blocks. I would always build like towers and stuff like that and just pretend it was like my greatest achievement. And I had a lot of other like toys growing up. I remember that one of my favorite toys growing up was a Woody doll from like the movie Toy Story. I loved that thing with my heart. I would take it everywhere with me. I even took it to school a couple of times, and I remember one day I took it to school and I think I sat it on my desk while the teacher taught, and everyone would just talk about it, and it was a really nice time. But I remember one day I randomly lost it. Like it just disappeared one day, and I have no idea where it went. I don't know, it could still be in my house to this day, or maybe I just lost it at school somewhere and someone stole it. It's possible. But yeah, I had a lot of childhood toys growing up, but we'll probably get into that in a later video. That'll probably just be like a video just about stuff I grew up with, talking about old shows I used to watch, a little more about my school life, or just random school stories I can remember, and childhood toys, of course. But another thing is I loved animation growing up. I just loved the concept of drawing a picture and drawing a million other pictures and just combining it all together to make a lovely project that was made with heart, and just putting it out for other people to see. That truly is something that stuck with me throughout my entire life, and it's what inspired me to become a creator. I really want to do animation, but I kind of just don't really know if I have the time to take like the classes and stuff like that, and I definitely don't have the setup. I'm running on a weird Dell computer, and my Wi-Fi is not the greatest, but the dream is still alive, and I'm hoping one day I can actually get started on animation. But until then, my dream is voice acting. Growing up in school, to summarize my school life in a few short sentences, if you took Mean Girls and Heathers and put it in a middle school setting, then that was my school life growing up. Before I entered high school, at least, I related myself a lot to mostly Veronica Sawyer, not the main character from Mean Girls. I forgot her name, but I mostly related myself to Veronica Sawyer, who started out as a lonely little kid in school, randomly starts hanging out with the popular people, and then as I hang out with the popular people, my life just starts getting worse and worse, and I get more depressed and shit like that. While in Veronica's case, she got like all everything bad that happened to her was because of like JD and stuff like that, and the Heathers were just actual assholes. For me, it was also just like the people I hung out with in elementary school or middle school were just very, very fake, and they weren't really my friends now that I look back on it. But I try to forget about those memories, and I try to just move on with my life, and I've definitely done my best to cut off those people from my past, even if they've tried to get back in contact with me. Literally the other week, I saw a request on Instagram for a follow, and I was like, okay, let's take a look at it. And it was just a follow request from a girl that I knew in elementary school / middle school, trying to get back in contact with me, and I immediately blocked them. I was like, nope, I am not interacting with you. You already made the the younger years of my life a living hell. You're not about to make the rest of my life a living hell, basically. But aside from school life, if I wouldn't be at school, I'd be at home, laying in bed, on my Amazon Fire tablet, watching YouTube. I used to watch a good set of YouTubers growing up. I remember the first 3 YouTubers I watched were iHasCupquake, Jacksepticeye, and Markiplier. All 3 of them were extremely funny in their own way. Out of the 3 of them, I do believe I watched Jacksepticeye more because, I don't know, I just found him really funny. And his Happy Wheels videos just truly made me smile, like, so wide. Even when I was having a bad day, I would just go to the tablet and just watch Jacksepticeye for hours on end until I got better. iHasCupquake, I used to watch her animations and her music videos. I remember when she uploaded, I forgot the name of it, but it was it was Mind Blocks. She uploaded Mind Blocks, which was a song about her and her boyfriend who are playing different games. One's playing Minecraft, one's playing Roblox. You've probably seen the video, it's really good. And for Markiplier, I used to watch his FNAF animated videos, which were extremely funny. And I believe I mostly just watched his animated videos and a few gameplay here and there. I remember when he first played The Joy of Creation Reborn, and that to this day is one of my favorite videos of his. It's so funny, and I laugh every time I watch it. And those 3 just really showed me that, hey, playing games on the internet for people to see isn't a bad idea. Or just talking and showing your face on the internet in general. And I took that to heart. I thought to myself, I could definitely do that when I grow up, when I get the setup, when I get the stuff needed to do that. I could totally do that. Aside from gaming YouTubers, I was also heavily, and I mean heavily, inspired by animation YouTubers. They, in my opinion, are one of the biggest, animation, in my opinion, has always been one of the biggest, communities on YouTube. It's truly amazing to see people just take their art and put it out for people to see. It's truly amazing. And of course, there are storytime animators, and some of the big ones I watched were, I'm gonna do a long list, so bear with me. some of the big storytime animators I used to watch that inspired me were The Odd Ones Out, Jada Animations, Let Me Explain Studios, Tim Tom, Something Else YT, Tabs, Rabaka-chan, and Cypher Den. I believe I watched a lot of Cypher Den growing up. Out of all of them, I'd say my favorite one is Let Me Explain Studios. Her videos truly spoke to me. I don't know what about them spoke to me, but they spoke to me. And seeing her animation evolve over the years is truly amazing. She went from like very like small movements, like very 2D animated movements, very stiff, to just full-on fluid animation. And I love watching each and every single video she's put out. It's so fun. And another YouTuber I mentioned is Tabs. I love Tabs. Oh my god, Tabs is so funny. Her roommates' videos have always kept me entertained. And I think my favorite video of hers is the video where she talks about how her and her friends got locked in a church cellar. It's really good. It's like extremely good. And I'm probably glazing like the hell out of these YouTubers. I don't care. I feel like talking about who I enjoy and what I enjoy is going to help me out a lot in the future. I feel like this can be like a good vent for what I want to talk about. And I've been inspired by a good amount of other YouTubers, but I feel like that's a good place to mention for now, and I'll probably get into it in a later video. More YouTubers that inspired me. That'll probably be the name of the episode. But for the final topic of the video, because we are nearing the 30-minute mark, is the type of content that I plan on uploading, not only to this show, but just the channel in general. I plan on uploading episodes of Sleeptalking. I can't tell you how often I'll be uploading videos of Sleeptalking. I'll probably try to do one at least every week, 2 weeks, around there. But aside from Sleeptalking, I will be uploading videos like gaming videos where I just play random games that I have on my computer, or I play games that I find on Steam for a good price. I also plan on doing a lot of videos featuring tokusatsu, which, if you don't know, is the Japanese term for special effects. It means like shows or movies that heavily rely on like special effects, you know, like Godzilla or King Kong. That's tokusatsu. But mostly focusing on Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, like I said earlier. I actually have a video planned where I go over my collection of Power Ranger, Sentai, Kamen Rider toys that I currently have, because I do feel like I have a good amount to do a whole video talking about them. And finally, I do plan on putting out a few videos of me singing. And you might be wondering, why singing? Because I don't know, I feel like to become an actor in a musical, I feel like I just have to put my voice out there, show the internet what I'm made of, and maybe it'll get big. I don't know, but we'll see. And also, this whole channel is just a way for me to get out of my comfort zone, a way for me to do things that I never thought I could ever do, to be more public, to be more okay with who I am as a person. And I really, really do hope that if you are watching this video, you are willing to follow me on this journey as I try to build a following on here, because I really do believe that I can do that. And I have several people who are willing to back me up on that statement. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I feel like I'm gonna enjoy editing this later, just hearing it back. But I do feel like that is a good place to end for this video, at least. I would like to thank all of you for tuning in to the very first episode of Sleeptalking. I do plan on uploading more in the future. I recently just got back into making videos after I graduated, because I realized that I have a little more free time to do that. I think the next video will be about comfort content, you know, like games I like to play, shows I like to watch, and random stuff that I find on the internet that I find comfort in, you know, like creepypastas and stuff like that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Sleep Talking. I really enjoyed recording this. I don't know how this video is going to do, but I really hope that it gets a decent amount of views. And with that, I will see you all next time. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed and you want to watch more. And with that, this has been Sleepy, signing off. Good night.